joined for your records,
Jerry Caliendo, okay.
and Sandy.
Andy, okay. Okay, I want to open the January 8th, 2025 meeting of the Land Use Committee. I want to welcome all of you and wish you all a happy and healthy new year for the rest of the time we meet. I just want to say at this point, my name is Elizabeth Arian. I am co-chair with Andreas Magias and vice chair Jerry Caliendo, I believe, is here also. This meeting is being conducted virtually and recorded and will be posted on the board's YouTube site, probably by tomorrow. We have I just want to make sure we have enough people here. I have Sandy Anagnostou, Gerald Caliendo, myself, Tyrone Gardner, Evie Hansopoulos, Amy Howe, Brian Hunt, Jacqueline Ibarra, Richard Kuzami, and Thomas Ryan and Thomas Wright. Is there anyone else I haven't called who is present? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have one item on the agenda tonight. So and that is something that we've heard before. So it should be a relatively easy and quick review. We have Elise Folidare from Eric Palatnis' office, who will be presenting the fresh certification from 40th Avenue in Dutch Kills. So if you would like to begin, Elise.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So the applicant, 40th Avenue Dutch Kills Realty, seeks a chair certification to facilitate a fresh use in a new mixed-use development that is currently under construction at 2709 40th Avenue in Queens Community District 1. So I'm going to go to my next slide. Hopefully I can figure that out. There you go. Here you go. Here's a breakdown, but I will discuss it. And you can see the building in this picture. The property is zoned in an M12 R5D, and it is in a special Long Island City district in the Dutch Kills subdistrict. The action being sought is a chairperson certification to permit a fresh use on the ground floor of the development site pursuant to section 6330 of the zoning resolution. The proposed action would facilitate a 6-story and cellar mixed-use development, which is otherwise permitted as of right, absent the proposed action. The fresh use would be located on the ground floor of a new 52,193 square foot, it's a zoning square foot building that contains 46 dwelling units and a light industrial space on the first and second floors contractor's establishment. And I guess I just wanted to point out quickly that the contractor's establishment before City of Yes was a requirement to get this building. That might have come up. I don't know. The City of Yes changed a bunch of things, but it is in there and it's used by the owners right now as essentially like a contractor's establishment, but it's essentially used as an office. The proposed fresh use consists of 12,083 zoning square feet, including 11,543 zoning square feet of retail space and 540 zoning square feet of non-retail space. The store would also comply with the signage and transparency requirements of fresh. This 12,083 zoning square feet in total fresh use would result in 12,083 square feet of additive floor area for residential use on the top 2 floors, 5th and 6th floors, and I can show the plans at the end, for a total of 52,193 square feet, and that is 2.9 FAR. This encompasses the 46 dwelling units in 35,022 zoning square feet, 2.0 FAR, a manufacturer's use, that contractor's establishment, and would rise to 60 feet. 113 parking spaces would be provided in a cellar and a subcellar level where 61 are required. Here we go. I just want to show you what it's Probably doesn't look like that today, so apologies, because that's a blank site. It's more in construction, but you can see what's around there. The development site would consist of a single tax and zoning lot located on 40th Avenue with frontages on 28th Street. The development site is identified, you can see it's block 397, lot 35. And you can see where it's located on this, so I will go to the next part. The development site is under construction. It's mostly completed for an as-of-right mixed use with 2.99 FAR. The building would contain 6 stories, as I stated. Same as the proposed development, but would contain 17,162 zoning square feet of manufacturing space as a contractor's establishment and 35,022 square feet of residential. It should be noted that this building is substantially complete and is awaiting this approval to finalize and obtain a certificate of occupancy. I just want to also, because I mentioned height, I could show you this height slide, how close it is to the trains. Where it's located on the zoning map. I think I'm going to stop here for a second. So it is in a M12 R5D district that is mapped along 40th and 39th Avenues. It's in the special mixed use districts are intended to facilitate a vibrant mix of uses, often within the same building. In the Dutch Kills subdistrict, the M12 R5D district permits a wide range of uses, including residential, community facility, commercial, and light industrial manufacturing uses under stringent performance standard. In the Dutch Kills subdistrict, food stores are not limited in size where they are in other MX or manufacturing districts. The M12 R5D district in the Dutch Kills subdistrict permits mixed-use buildings of up to 3.0 FAR with maximum heights governed by the proposed use. For the residential buildings, 2.0 FAR is permitted and may rise to 45 feet. And for non-residential uses, the sky exposure plane determines the maximum height with a maximum street wall height of 4 stories or 60 feet, whichever is less. Parking requirements vary, and as I stated before, we have more than the required parking. Next, you could see where it's located. Okay, here we go. The development site is located within the food retail expansion to support health fresh area, which was recently enlarged to include the area of Queens Community District 1 in December of 2021 as part of the Fresh Food Stores update, acknowledging a lack of fresh food options in this immediate area. The Fresh program offers zoning incentives and financial benefits for qualifying developments. The overarching goal of the program is to promote the development and retention of accessible retail stores that provide fresh meat, fruit, and vegetables and other perishable goods, in addition to a full range of grocery products. The program offers a series of zoning incentives, including FAR bonus for each square foot of fresh use. And there are only 6 existing supermarkets within a half a mile of this site and 1 fresh supermarket currently under construction. There's only 1 existing supermarket within a 1/4 of a mile of the site. It's on this, you can see this. Given the population increase in this area, there is a demand for these fresh food stores. Sorry. Next, some photographs of the site. Sure they're a little out. Here are the plans. I'm gonna go to here, maybe. I'll go to the site plan. Okay, so I talked about that. The proposed, we said that. Okay, the proposed fresh use would generate 12,083 square feet of additive residential floor area, of which approximately 7,118 square feet would be allocated to the 6th floor and 4,965 square feet would be allocated to the 5th floor for a total of 12,083 square feet of additive residential floor area. The proposed building would rise to 60 feet, which is permitted as of right. It should be noted that the proposed residential use would consist of condos, so no income restricted dwelling units would be provided. As the Fresh program was updated in December 15, 2021, a limitation on the location of fresh stores has been imposed where no more than 40,000 of increased residential floor area resulting from a qualifying fresh food store can be located within a half a mile per zoning section 63023. Only 1 additional fresh approval are found within the radius, which is located at 3742 30th Street. So the proposed fresh use would comply with saturation requirements. The grocery store owner, which is operated by Gaynor Green Market, who is affiliated with the developer of the building. They have 3 food stores. Maybe you've been to them. One is Food for Health on 92nd and 3rd in Manhattan. Next is Matter of Health on 72nd and 3rd in Manhattan, and 2 additional stores in Westchester. In terms of operations of the fresh food store, loading will occur on 28th Street with trash pickup nightly. The operating hours would be between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Deliveries would occur 3 to 4 times a week during peak hours. And given the relatively small size of the store, they would not consist of fully sized tractor trailers. So you would not have to worry about large tractor trailers on this property. So I hope that was a lot of information. So thank you for listening. I appreciate it. And I'd like to show you anything you'd like to see or answer any questions.
Thank you, Lise. I just yes, it was a lot of information.
Yeah, I was just trying to be comprehensive. I don't know
But
what you
no,
were
no,
here
I
for.
appreciate that. But the committee did review this and the community board did review it also back
Yeah.
in April. But at the time that we reviewed it, we found that the proposed area complied with all of the requirements to have a fresh designation. So that was not an issue. There were some issues that were brought up by the community board at its public hearing, and they were explained by, I don't remember if it was you or Mr. Palatnik who did the
Unfortunately, I'm
original.
here tonight because Mr. Palatnik's at another community board because everybody scheduled them at the same time.
No, it's not unfortunate. Thank you. I'm glad you are here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. But I'm saying
the
if you miss
And
him,
I'm saying
again,
my memory is
yeah,
last
yeah,
one. I don't which one. No, remember which one of you were at this particular
yeah.
hearing. But they were talking about they wanted to know the clarification of the benefit of the fresh designation. Maybe you can talk about that.
So the benefit is you're getting that extra bonuses that I discussed
Okay.
over and over again. So
Okay.
the point is to get the bonus, either tax incentive or in this case, it's zoning. You go to a different person for a tax incentive. So
Another issue was the parking. They wanted to know in additional parking and also the business experience of the operator, which was attested to at those hearings. If you can
yeah,
talk about the parking that is being
yeah.
provided, and
So
before you
yeah,
answer that, eh, the second thing is there a difference between what was presented back then and now, what's being presented now?
I was not told that anything has changed. I was told that
Okay.
nothing has, so I would say nothing. And I this probably makes sense because of the background of the history, but 61 parking spaces are required, and it was probably because of that, these conversations that 113 parking spaces are provided. So a lot
132,
more.
you said?
61 are required, 113 are being provided.
113. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Members of the committee, do you have any questions? Let me see. Since I'm co-hosting,
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
who's
This is
speaking? Brian? Uh,
Thomas.
Thomas, I'm sorry.
Thomas, but I appreciate that and I take it as a compliment. Um, however, I live right near this building and I would really like to have one of those condos, but I can't afford it.
Mhm.
But this building is fully built out and I can see where the green market is because the sliding doors are there.
Yeah.
So this has all already been done.
But
So
it's not open. I don't think they can open. They can build out a store, and if they don't get the approval, they'd have to put in something else.
Oh, so we're okay. So we're just looking at this. I think it's just to add, the barbecue place in front of this place is great, but this is a beautiful building. I look forward to using it because it's correct. There is no market on that side. You really have to cross over where the bridge is to get over to like Fresh Acres or much further down to Food Cellar. So it's a nice place and it's a beautiful facility with beautiful apartments. I don't know where the parking's going to be unless it's under the building and I
Yeah,
can
under exactly.
where
So
yeah, and so
I
they'll
can
be
go
there.
to the
Oh, I see. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for the presentation.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I gave so much information. I just didn't know it was covered before.
Okay, Sandy has her hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Liz. Hi, Elise.
Um,
You answered most of my questions. I appreciate that there's parking, and I definitely agree that we could use more markets in that area and more choices for residents. But you mentioned something about a contractor's establishment using the space currently.
Yeah, so it's really just the
Where?
builders are using it as an office, but they,
Oh,
before the city of Yes. So contractor's establishment was a necessary use before the ZEO was adopted to enable the development to qualify for a full 3.0 FAR. So the developer took it on themselves to have their office there.
oh, okay. So they're using it temporarily.
Yeah, I know it's kind of a weird, it was like a weird requirement, and now it's not the requirement because it changed. Don't ask me anything further because I'm still getting to know City. Yes.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. I was just thinking if any like business was being displaced or anything like that, but that's
No.
thank you.
Yeah.
So what are the possibilities that can be in there? It's a commercial use, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't know if I mean, I guess they have to be some sort of light, but I think the developer plans on still just using that to continue
Okay.
to use it.
So was the City of Yes effect, the results of the City of Yes legislation being passed, besides allowing this space to be used commercially,
Mhm.
what else, what other effect did it have on your building?
That
Allow
is,
you, whatever allowing you to
that
do.
that's it.
That's it. Okay.
That's the only thing that I think substantially, because it's substantially built, so we're not, it's,
Right. It's
oh,
built almost to the maximum at this,
yeah, it's
they are, that's
not
allowed.
changing. What
Right.
you see is what you're getting, but it's not, there's no one living in it currently or anything until it's approved.
Okay. Amy Howe has her hand raised.
Yeah, I think this is a follow-up question to Sandy's question. In your presentation, there is the description of all the different spaces. You had about 5,000 square foot towards a commercial space. Is that the space you're referring to that's being used by the developer as a contractor's office? And is that a second floor over the,
Let's see what the plans.
yeah, I just need a little refresher. It's been a while.
On food. Okay, I'm just trying to see if they broke it. Fresh food area, location. Sorry, I wouldn't, I want to like point it out for you.
Yeah, because I think what I saw was that it was kind of there was a parenthesis about light manufacturing. So I was,
That's the so yeah, so there's 46 dwelling units, a manufacturing use, which is the contractors established where they're in, and that's only 5,086 square feet.
okay.
And then there's the fresh use.
And is that 5,000 square feet on the second level over the ground
Was that-
floor
I
retail?
had Here we are, finally. So it is right above the fresh food store. It is on the second floor. I needed a elevation. See, it's residential and then manufacturing, and that's where that's where the office of the contractor developer.
And what's the likelihood of them staying or not staying? And if they're not staying, then, what kind of manufacturing?
I think the likelihood is they will stay.
Okay.
And it was just a requirement. So they said, mine as well. Nice new building.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anyone else who has a question from the board, from the committee? So I would like to know, first of all, why was it necessary for you to come back here? I know it was a long time. We saw this in April, and you had been asking for a letter. We're not having another public hearing on this, but we are going back to let the board members know the what's been happening. So my question, I guess, is why has it been delayed at city planning?
Um, I apologize. I know I studied the project and I haven't been working on it for 2 or 3 years, but my guess, and I'm apologizing that it's a guess, is during City of Yes, everything was kind of put on hold. That's my experience. And things were kind of, because they had a focus and they don't have a huge staff. So I'm assuming
Okay.
that was the reason. I can get back to you on why it was held up.
Well,
But
maybe Colin, do you know why it's been delayed at city planning?
Yeah, hi Liz. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Great. I'm trying a different audio setup from last month.
it's
Um,
much better. It's much better than last time.
so glad to hear that. Um, yeah, I think there might have been a mix-up last time this came to the board. That was actually the moment that the application was filed, which means that it just becomes public record, but it does not mean that it's certified. Um, and the time span between filed and certified can span several months depending on applicant responses and also DCP ability to give comment. So it could be a variety of those factors, but I'm not 100% sure.
So
thank you,
this
Cal.
so this is ready to go before the commission for a chair certification. Is that what it is? Okay.
That's correct.
I know
Okay.
that much. I agree with Colin.
Okay. All right. So, and do you have our letter on file from April? Are you
I can double check our portal, and if not, I'll follow up with Florence.
okay?
I also know at Eric Palatnik PC, we like to give you a presentation right when we file and then when we're going to go back so we don't surprise you as a standard.
Right. He's usually
Yeah.
his firm is usually good about that.
Yeah, we don't want to surprise you.
We don't like surprises. Okay. So, so you'll be there on, I'm sorry, I don't remember the date of our hearing.
Eric will be there at the end of the month, whatever date that is. If it's the 21st or the 22nd, it won't be me. You will get.
Yeah, I don't have, let me see the calendar.
Remember it being at the end of
21.
Yeah, Eric will attend at January 21st.
Okay. All right. And I guess it's just, like a review to the community board that this is going through now for chair certification. And, we'll follow up with the letter. I
Thank you
don't,
so much.
okay. I'm sorry, who spoke?
I just said thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you, Elise, very much. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Let's see. The next item on the agenda is the business section. Colin, do you have anything else additional to speak about from city planning?
Yeah, I'd like to try and do a second stab at giving some updates on LIC. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a great verbal job last time. So just a few things I wanted to lay out for the board. Since I know a neighborhood plan hasn't come to this board in some time, I just wanted to highlight some of the differences between that and a typical rezoning that comes by your desk. There's just a few really main differences. Firstly, it's covering a larger geography. In the situation of Community District 1, this is covering 6 blocks just north of the Queensboro Bridge and adjacent to the Queensbridge houses. So there's that portion that will have a larger impact. We also typically as an agency do a much more robust kind of sort of engagement than you would see from a private applicant. So that's something that we've started in November of 2023, and I've been very happy to see a lot of these board members show up for those meetings. It's been great to see you all there. And I'll touch on that in a moment that we have another event coming up. And lastly, the last and really key difference I find between a neighborhood plan and a standard rezoning is that these neighborhood plans come with city commitments for investments in these neighborhoods. So that can be the delivery of enhanced infrastructure and amenities. So yeah, I just wanted to lay that out and then also speak to the timeline. So we are still on track to certify in spring. I don't want to give you a firm date yet because that is still kind of shifting between 2 or 3 dates, but you will expect that to come by before we adjourn for the summer recess. Then there'll be a late summer CPC vote once it goes back to the commission. And then in fall, the city council will vote on the plan, and that's also where the points of agreement will be determined for citywide investments to the neighborhood. And so, yeah, I'll just circle back to that upcoming event I mentioned. I just emailed Florence about this, and she'll probably get around to sharing that with you all. Great. I'm glad to see you got it, Florence. Thank you. We will have a workshop focused on the public sites around Annabelle Basin on Saturday, January 25th from 12 to 2 p.m. This will be at PSIS 78. That's over down near Queens West and the Hunters Point South community on 5th Street. And yeah, Florence will circulate that invite with you all if she hasn't already. And I'm also happy to re-up that in this chat.
How many of these outreaches have you done, and who have they been with?
Sure. Apologies, I don't have the exact number. I think we've had about 14 events since November of 2023. And they've been ranging in location from Queensbridge houses down to MoMA PS1, across the districts, both 1 and 2, focusing on a variety of aspects. So sometimes we're talking about the waterfront, sometimes we're talking about transportation or economic opportunities or housing. And so we are kind of wrapping up. We're planning to have one more engagement event following this public sites workshop to give a preview on the neighborhood plan before certification.
So is there information about now that is available to us to review concerning the changes that you've made within District 1?
Right. We won't be able to release any of the changes since scoping until about a week before certification, but we will. Actually, I guess I'll take that back for a second because we will be releasing a bit of information on that also during that public event I mentioned that we'll be having. It'll be our draft neighborhood plan release. So that will happen also very shortly before certification. And that's the next touch point where we'll be able to release more information on our updated plan.
So did I hear right that you said there's a total of 6 blocks now in District 1 that are within the study area as opposed to 2?
It has remained the same this entire time. It's 4 full blocks and 2 partial blocks.
So that has not changed.
That's correct.
Okay, then I don't remember what I heard. That's what I thought I heard, that it was a total of 6 at this point. Okay. And the notification, what is that, going to the office or what? I assume it's going to the board office, okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm opening up for questions. Anyone want to ask Colin? So you want to do this presentation to us? To this committee?
No, just wanted to make you all aware that there will be an upcoming event to talk about the draft neighborhood plan, but I'll be coming to you all to post certification in the typical ULERP fashion.
That we know, but I thought okay. So there's no information that you can release to us with respect to what you're thinking other than what we saw several months back for those 4 blocks.
That's correct.
Has it changed?
We're not able to really release
I'm
any
going to
more
nudge you. I'm
information.
going to keep asking questions, okay?
I appreciate it.
It's not such a big secret. Come on. All right.
Can
So,
I ask a question, Liz? I'm sorry.
sure. Go ahead.
So is it possible before certification to have you back and do a presentation on the changes?
Let me circle back and find out how the timeline will work out for that, but I think we might be open to that.
Thank you.
We usually do get pre-certification presentations on everything else.
This is a big one, so it'd be good to have that.
Well,
Major rezoning. Yeah.
You don't have to tell us what's going on at Board 2. All we want to know is what's happening within our jurisdiction. So it won't be like you're letting out the big secrets. Okay.
You all are just as important.
Well, I do want to know what's going on there too, but anyway,
Well,
focus on one, sure,
But
but
focus, yeah, focus. I
there's the
can't,
public sites and all that too, which I think is really important because it affects everybody.
right. And you were also dealing with waterfront issues, waterfront access issues in this study too. So that's an important that's important information for us to have. How is Queensbridge reacting to this? Because we haven't heard anything from their tenants association.
We've had pretty positive, touch points with them. We've attended a lot of events that they've done, and we're going to try and do more of that as we get closer to certification. Right now, we're really working on refining more of the nuances of our proposal right now, but we'll definitely be making an effort to reach out to them more leading up to that.
Okay. So, I mean, some of the issues that we had was that we didn't know whether or not they were aware of the scale of the possible development in that area. And I just wanted to know how often you met with them, and was it the Tenants Association that you were meeting with?
We have met with the Tenants Association once or twice. We've also attended like Family Day, for example, as some events, and we've also been doing flyering to let them know about upcoming events that we've had. So we are going like door to door and building to building, making sure people are aware.
But did you let them know the potential development, what it's going to look like? Did you get to that point of discussion under what you're proposing or introducing?
For those who have attended our events, we have been discussing what those districts look like.
And how well attended were those meetings with them?
I haven't been a part of all these meetings, so I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, so who meets with them? Who's
We have
doing outreach?
Yeah, we have a large team working on this project. So there's a handful of us over at DCP working on this.
Okay. From the Queen's office or from the central office?
From both.
From both, okay. All right. Anything else? Anything else city planning is doing?
I think Evie had her hand up, so if we're staying on LIC for a moment.
Yeah, sorry, Colin.
It's fine.
Just to follow up to Liz's questions, because I do like to get kind of specifics. So just back to kind of like the scale of this. So they've seen models of like heights or is it just like this will be R9? Like, are they actually seeing models? Like, is that, because I think that was something that we had brought up before. It's kind of, you kind of see numbers, like this is going to be R6, this is going to be R whatever. And people don't really necessarily understand what that could look like, and could look like a bunch of different things. So just curious, like what actually have they seen?
Sure. So we have in our public documents released diagrams of what those zoning districts can look like, more like massings. But we won't be releasing anything like any building forms like the way, like maybe what you're alluding to, until we get to certification.
So the forms, the massings are on the DCP website,
They're on the LIC plan website.
and that's similar to like what we got.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, which again is hard for people to really understand or visualize. Okay. I just okay, Katie, okay, she's a panelist now. She had texted me that she was in the attendee list, but I see her. Oh no, she's not. Could either Liz or Florence let her in? She's a committee member.
Who's she, Madam Chair?
Katie.
Katie?
Katie.
Oh, didn't hear you. I was taking notes. I will do it right now.
Yeah. And it looks like Tyrone is there too. He's also on the
No,
committee.
Tyrone's in both places. Okay. Katie, please accept the promotion. Katie?
What was I gonna ask?
Thank you.
Colin, on another issue, I wanted to ask you if the City of Yes regulations are now in a form on the website that is similar to what you would get from the handbook, where you can go zone by zone to get the regulations that are now associated with those new zones. Is there a place on the website that has that now?
I don't think we have those resources yet, unfortunately, even internally. It's something our teams are working on, but at the moment, there is a technical memorandum that was added on, and I can also link that to Florence and circulate it with you all, which is unfortunately not as visually and interpretive as the handbook is, but is very plain language about what the changes are under the new proposal, or the one that was adopted by the City Council.
Okay, because we need this as a reference now, not when they're going to publish a book. It needs to be accessible. So you have, and it's in this technical memo, you said?
There aren't drawings like that. It's just a description of what has been approved.
Don't need the drawings. I just need the specifics for each zone so that I can do my own calculations.
Yeah, I believe they are in there. I'm going to double check and I'll send it over to Florence.
Okay. Thank you. I needed it today to figure something out on a particular site, and I still just had 1961s.
1961.
Well, yes, because the zone hadn't changed. It was a straight R5.
Okay.
So it was, and I wasn't going to start looking through all of my papers from the review that we did on this.
Right.
Okay, so that would be good to get that. Let's see, all right, the approval of minutes, not the approval. Are there any changes to the set of minutes that I sent out or corrections? They were for the last meeting we had, which was December 4th. No comments? Thank you. Are there any other issues or points of discussion that any committee member would like to raise? If not, I guess we're ready for adjournment. What is it, 7:12? No other issues? Jerry, no issues? You're muted.
Just a point of information that I've been getting calls off the hook regarding City of Yes, and there's a lot of interest throughout the city with City of Yes and all the bonuses that and abilities to add to people's buildings and properties. So hopefully it affects the need for the additional residential apartments that we need. So I think it has a positive outlook right now so far. Just a point.
Okay, thanks. Colin, do you have any, can you tell us what projects are in the pipeline to be certified and approximately when? Not a commitment kind of statement, just general information.
Yeah, what I'll say is that since City of Yes was approved in December, it does require all applications to update their documents to reflect those changes. So that will take applicants some time. So it's a little dodgy to give exact timelines. What I do know, though, I just heard this earlier today, is I think it will be coming to the board next, and this might be in February or March, will be 4211 30th Ave. It was that rezoning from R5 to an R6A, which you had a informational meeting about earlier in 2024.
Mhm. I remember the address. I don't remember the project.
Liz, it was the supermarket.
The supermarket with the residential above it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
And there's gonna
now,
be,
which now had to be adjusted, as Colin just mentioned, to City of Yes. I don't know all the particulars, but I know it's being adjusted as we speak.
okay, thank you. So that's about that's the next one coming. And what about the larger projects we've had?
I don't have any updates to give on those, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. So with that, oh, Katie, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just had a question, and maybe it was brought up at the last meeting that I missed, but the Ricardo site, are they selling that to a different developer? The potential site for the affordable ownership?
I could answer that to the best of my ability.
Sure.
I've been in touch with the developer, and as recently as the past couple of weeks, he still has the intention to build and to do the affordable condos.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying because there is the sign up saying available,
Yeah, every
Um,
property has a sign.
but I guess that has to do that.
Chair, may I jump in? Did call the developer. There was a possibility of leasing the space to make money until everything happened with the City of Yes. I spoke with them on a different level from one of the neighbors in the community, and they were thinking about possibly renting it for parking or something at one point quite a few months ago. That's why it was listed as available to
Thank
utilize
you.
funding.
Okay. I was under the impression that the site was under construction, but I guess that was just demolition that
Correct.
occurred. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. Katie, are you still hands up or?
No, I'll remove my hand. Sorry.
All right, with that, I guess I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Seconded?
Second.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good night.
I'm glad we didn't have to come out in the cold, that's for sure.
Good night.
Happy
Thank
and
you.
Good night.
New Year to
Good night.
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Harish Studios. Happy New Year. You can close the video now.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays to you.